For nearly a century, theoretical physics has been wandering through a dark age of its own making. Faced with glaring observational anomalies, the architects of modern cosmology and quantum mechanics abandoned physical reality. Instead of questioning their foundational assumptions, the existence of an empty, frictionless space-time and point-like particles, they chose to fill the universe with invisible ghosts. They invented dark matter and dark energy to balance the books and demanded we accept statistical mysticism as the fundamental law of the quantum realm. Today, those foundations are cracking. Telemetry from the James Webb Space Telescope, LIGO, and IceCube is delivering the empirical onslaught. These high-sigma crises are not isolated anomalies. They are the unified screams of a dying paradigm. The ice is breaking. The thaw has begun. Welcome to the Geometric Thaw, Volume 2. We do not seek to patch the failing standard models, we replace them entirely. By re-ontologizing the vacuum of space as a physical, Tisza-Landau macroscopic quantum superfluid, we establish a deterministic mechanical architecture for reality. Volume 2 begins by dismantling the dark sector. Dark energy is not a static constant, it is thermodynamic metabolism. The cosmic acceleration we observe is the physical melting and volumetric expansion of the spacetime metric in response to the massive thermal exhaust of stellar nucleosynthesis. Local regions, like the dense Laniakea supercluster, have absorbed intense stellar heat, melting into a viscous, rapidly expanding normal fluid fraction. Conversely, vast cosmic voids remain empty of stars and unthawed, existing in a rigid, slow-expanding superfluid ground state. The Hubble tension is solved. Expansion is an anisotropic thermodynamic variable, not a dynamic constant. Similarly, we replace the particulate dark matter halo with space-time creep and frame dragging. Standard cosmology misidentified restorative topological tension as invisible mass. Cluster lensing anomalies, like the bullet cluster, are not proofs of WIMPs. They are the mechanical measurement of a fluid vacuum exhibiting structural memory, hysteresis, lagging behind decelerating baryonic matter. Having established that the late-time metric has thawed into a highly viscous normal fluid, Part 2 presents the direct, non-conservative empirical measurements of that friction. Astrodynamics operate on the assumption of a frictionless vacuum. This is incorrect. We analyzed Earth's local flyby vortex, the melted lens-Thirring shear layer. When a spacecraft plunges through this viscous normal fluid, it experiences differential aerodynamic drag, accelerating when moving prograde and decelerating when retrograde. This mechanism deterministically derives the previously unexplained Anderson constant. We have measured the viscosity of local spacetime. This identical mechanism resolves the dynamics of the galactic core. The missing high-velocity tail of stars ejected from Sagittarius A star is explained. They are hydrodynamically braked by the hyperviscous metric. The kinetic inversion paradox in ancient globular clusters is solved. Hundreds of black holes are not violating n-body mechanics. Their chaotic ejections are hydrodynamically quenched by the viscosity of the thawed core. General relativity's assumption of a frictionless vacuum catastrophically fails across gigaparsecs. Part 2 concludes with the definitive laboratory of multi-messenger astronomy. We decode the multi-messenger signals. Gravitational waves are acoustic waves physically damped by the viscosity of spacetime, explaining why LIGO's standard sirens appear too faint. Simultaneously, the nanograv stochastic gravitational wave background displays a strict low-frequency cutoff, visual proof of macroscopic vacuum resonance and kinematic viscosity. In Part 3, we cross the dimensional threshold, utilizing the continuous hydrodynamics of the master equation to eradicate the zero-dimensional point particle. By re-ontologizing the proton not as an abstract point, but as a stable quantized topological defect, a vortex spinning within the superfluid vacuum, we deterministically solve the greatest crisis in particle physics. Replacing the electron with the 207 times more massive muon creates an immense lens-thirring metric wake. This localized metric pressure physically compresses the proton vortex by exactly 0.0336 fm, matching the 7 sigma anomaly. This compressible boundary reframes the Large Hadron Collider. Billions of dollars have been spent searching for supersymmetry and WIMP dark matter to explain missing collision energy. The missing energy does not belong to an invisible particle. It is the latent heat of localized metric melting. We must stop searching for ghosts and begin measuring the thermodynamic state of the collision vacuum. We subsequently resolved the black hole information paradox. A black hole is not an empty geometric anomaly. Its event horizon is a boiling, turbulent, hyperviscous fluid phase boundary. The standard smooth horizon is dead. We extract the high-frequency residuals from LIGO ring-down telemetry, revealing the explicit k to the -5/3 data signature of Kolmogorov turbulence on the horizon fluid surface. The horizon is a turbulent fluid. In Part 4, we formalize the full mathematical architecture that unifies these disparate scales. The greatest failure of 20th century physics was the incompatibility of smooth general relativity and statistical quantum mechanics. By replacing abstract empty geometry with the physical hydrodynamics of a Gross-Pitayevsky wave function synthesis, we eradicate this schism entirely. This is the Garstin master equation. We replace abstract curvature with quantifiable topological strain, and the dynamic cosmological constant with viscoelastic metric Pragg. The Garstin master equation provides a final deterministic ontology to the universe, abolishing the bleak fallacy of heat death. We visualize the self-recycling metabolic engine. The universe expands to process the heat of stellar nucleosynthesis, melts into a viscous normal fluid, evaporates all mass to achieve conformal invariance, and utilizes that pure maximum entropy thermal state as the latent energy to condensation back into a pristine superfluid Big Bang. This is not passive philosophy. Part V is the ultimate synthesis, metric engineering. Passively observing nature ends, active manipulation begins. Having mapped the precise fluid dynamics of the vacuum, we deploy acoustic metric modulators, AMMs. We stop attempting to correct quantum errors and instead eliminate the physical friction causing them. By generating destructive acoustic gravitational interference patterns, we artificially freeze the metric inside the processor core back into a zero-viscosity superfluid ground state. Viscoelastic decoherence is entirely eliminated, shattering the scaling limits of quantum computing. We subsequently deploy this technology to solve fusion. Current brute force architectures battle against the metric, fighting plasma instabilities in a multi-billion-dollar stalemate. The SCFR utilizes constructive acoustic gravitational interference to hyperconcentrate the metric shear within the ignition centroid. This hyperstrain artificially softens the local geometric stiffness, causing the Coulomb potential barrier to visually collapse. Fusion is effortlessly achieved at drastically lower temperatures and pressures, delivering post-scarcity, limitless energy. We do not need to build a star, we simply need to soften the space where the star is born. Albert Einstein believed that quantum probability was not a fundamental law, but a reflection of our ignorance of a deeper deterministic substructure. Einstein was correct. We have confiscated the dice. Quantum probability is subscale hydrodynamics. The era of invisible ghosts, smooth event horizons, and dark matter halos is over. The universe is not dark, and it is not made of nothingness. It is a highly structured, self-recycling geometric engine governed by the elegant deterministic laws of fluid dynamics. The ice has broken, the thaw is complete, the universe makes sense again. The Geometric Thaw, Volume 2, Empirical, Unification and Applied Metric Engineering is available now on Amazon KDP. Visit geometricthaw.com to read the 23 reports and download the PRD master papers.